agenda for this meeting as well. And you can add your name in the attendees list in the Google Doc to let us know that you are attending and you're here. And then below that, you can find all the agenda items that are going to be discussed today under the respective site names. So yeah, that's all about the procedure of the meeting. Now, like every other Layer 5 websites or any other call, we encourage newcomers on every call. So if there is any newcomer on this call, I'd love for them to introduce themselves to us.
Hey, should I be going first?
Yeah, who's this? Sorry.
Hello, myself Swagata Roy. Am I audible?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Hello, myself Swagata Roy. I'm from India. I'm currently a final year BC undergrad student. So my tech stacks revolve around like front end. I'm also trying to complete my collaborate and connect with more people and get to learn a lot about Meshery. You get replied. So I really like that.
That's great. Great. So am I audible? Like, is mine? I think there's an issue with my bandwidth today.
Yeah, we can hear you now, Sean.
I can hear you fine, Sean.
Cool, that's great. That's great, Swagata. Welcome to the community. I hope you have a good time while you're here.
Yeah, thanks.
That's great. So moving on, who would like to go next? I think we do have a couple of newcomers today on the call.
Yes, sir. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Sir, my name is Vasu Arora, and I am third year student from IT Gujarat Punjab Technical University in BTech Computer Science and Engineering, and love to contribute in this community. Hello. Hi.
That's great. That's great. I think it was Vasu Arora, right? Welcome
Yes,
to the
sir.
community, Vasu. Welcome to the community. That's great. Cool. Next up, I think who would like to go next from the newcomers?
Hey, so am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So hey everyone, myself Manish. Currently, I'm a second year undergraduate student, and I'm an open source enthusiast. So I just love to talk about open source products and open source projects, and I love to help people to get started with their open source journey. So yes, basically I advocate for things in open source, and I am a content writer. So I write content about like productivity tips and tricks revolving around Git, GitHub, and basically everything included in open source. And talking about my tech stacks, so I am familiar with basics front-end tech stacks like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and now I am learning React by making a movie review project. So yeah, that's basically about me. So looking forward to contribute to Meshery project and geeking out with you all. Yeah, happy to be here.
That's great, Manish. Welcome to the community. As you said, which got my attention was you are a content writer. So one thing which you can check out is the writing program that we have at Layer 5. So yeah, you can check the entire handbook out, obviously, but you make sure to check out the writing program in specific. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
welcome to the community, Manish.
Definitely check it out. Thanks for referring.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. Next up, do we have any other newcomer on this call?
Yes.
Today?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello everyone. I'm Vivek Vishal, second year student at Sant Longwal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Punjab, India. And I found Meshery through Linux Foundation's application site, and I really find the project very interesting. And currently, I'm a beginner in open source and learning about the project and playing around with the Meshery while installing it, and looking forward to contribute to it in the next term of Linux Foundation's spring term. And this is first time I'm introducing myself in any virtual meet, and really find it I think hesitative to do it. So please, I mean, you guys will be soft on me, I think. Thank you.
That's great, Vivek. It's fine. Everyone is nervous while introducing themselves for the first time on the call. But yeah, I mean, you'll get used to it. Don't worry. Welcome to the community. Cool. Next up, okay. Do we have any more newcomers in the call? I think. Okay, I think we are done for the newcomers part today. So cool. Welcome to all the newcomers. Welcome to the community. Make sure to check out all the projects and see what interests you and start contributing. Cool. So that's it. Let's begin with the agenda items today. First up, without any delay, we'll start with layer 5. And the first agenda item we have is Shivam's MeshMap page updates. So Shivam, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah.
So is it visible?
About 3 more seconds, probably. Almost.
Well, maybe San, you can just share my deploy preview, because I guess I have some issues with my bandwidth.
No, it is, your screen is visible now. Oh, okay. You just stopped the sharing, but the screen is visible. Cool. I'll just share your deploy preview. Just give me a second.
I'll have issues.
Just is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, everyone is having network problems today.
Yeah, the latest one at the bottom. The MeshMap page.
So is there any specific URL you want me to go to?
Actually, not correctly.
I think I'm suffering with my network today as well. So
Yeah.
if there's anyone
sure.
who is like,
I don't,
you can do it.
sorry, if anybody else would like to, though. So I think I'm going to share the correct screen. All right, great. So hey, we were here with. By the way, it's just it's really all nice to meet Vasu and Swagata and and Manish. And I think I missed somebody. The link, though, to the page is here. So we've been talking about this page a little bit. This is one of the projects that you all work on. This particular project, MeshMap, is well, it's really one of the capabilities that you'll find inside of play.meshery.io. And so it took us a while to create all 46 seconds of this video, only like 2 days to do that. So watch the video just to make us feel better. But part of what we're trying to do with this project is try to tell people about it and inform them what it's capable of. And so Shivam has been working on refactoring the current page that's there. So there's a page right now for this particular project. There's really only one page, I think only one place that describes it. And it's a big old project. We're not doing the project justice. It does quite a bit. It does so much that it has two different modes of what it can do. And so, go read about it. I mean, better yet, go try it out on the playground. If we see any of your names come through, you'll get off the wait list pretty fast. So what Shivam is trying to do is he had worked on a couple of different, I'm going to stop sharing and reshare. He had worked on a couple of different designs, website designs. And we use Figma generally. You don't have to, but we generally use it to capture a lot of our user flow. Well, some of the user flow. Sometimes that's Google Slides, because we capture a lot of sequence diagrams and things there. But we do use Figma. We try to lay out how it is to contribute and kind of work together in a Figma refers to it as a multiplayer tool. You can make a mess of things if you overwrite things that other people have done. And so anyway, he's put together a couple of new page designs. There's two design files for the community. One of them is called Layer 5 Designs, and this captures, I think we have about 9 websites. And for the most part, this particular design file captures those 9 websites and their designs. The other file is for Meshery, and it captures most of Meshery's pages and that whole app. Inside of this Layer 5 Designs, there's a page that's dedicated, a page inside of Figma that's dedicated to MeshMap. This is a mock-up of what the page kind of looks like now. It looks better than this, but that's fine. So Shivam has been inviting people. So the reason I'm going over this is because you all are invited to participate. There's a lot of empty design, or a lot of empty sections that need designs that describe different capabilities in MeshMap. And some of them might just be capabilities in Meshery. So anyway, you're welcome to participate. There's some ideas that we have that haven't come forth. Shivam has been working on realizing the first round of those. So, and so I think this is it, right? This is you. No, this is the current page. Kind of, yeah, that's what it is. Here is Shivam's. And so there has been consideration or a question asked as to whether or not we should create a dedicated site for MeshMap. For the most part, there's been some positive responses. A couple of things just before. Yeah, I clicked on an old one, which is what Shivam's going to tell me. Something I want to call out just before we go into this. There's something of a relatively, actually, Gurpreet, do you have maybe an update later on this issue here? If you do, this overlap where the text is being overlapped by the.
No, I haven't started working on this one. Actually, I did work on other ones I have assigned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll fix this. I think it's pretty simple to do that. Yeah.
Okay, good. It's also urgent or a high priority for people that visit.
Sure.
Nice. All right. So by the way, the way that so we do a couple of, for the 9 different sites that we have, we generally have build previews that will happen. And I'm sort of going over some extra stuff today because there's a few folks that are new. And so even for some of us who've been around for a while, it's still not quite clear what all is going on. But a lot of times when you open up a pull request on any of these sites, you'll end up with a deployment preview. Like the site will be, your changes will be built, and then there'll be a preview of what they look like here. And that really helps facilitate review, actually. And by the way, if you're on this call, and even if you aren't, if you're watching us on the live stream, everybody's welcome to review. I encourage you to offer review to others. It helps you learn for sure. It's not easy to give a review. Helps you learn, and everybody likes to get feedback. It's nice to have your work recognized. So on this particular, the way that this particular repo is set up, anytime that you make changes to and push more commits to your branch, another preview link will be built. In some of the other repos, that's not the same. Some of the other repos, they just have a single preview link, and every time that you make an update, the updates will be rebuilt, but it'll just still be at the same link. So just be aware that behavior. So Shivam, finally, we're back to where you can walk us through this.
Yeah, I added the borders and also made it dedicated sections for each heading, and also reduce some spacing, added some padding, and changed the SVGs.
I just don't, I don't know, this person's too pretty. I don't think people are going to believe this is real software. Cool. So you want to tell a couple of us about what's happening? I see, so previously you had an animated GIF, I think, in here, and part of the idea was that we might. It specifically has to do with animated GIFs. So that didn't really work out very well for us there. We used to have, there's an animated GIF here on the Meshery.io website. And it used to be tilted a little bit, just to give it some flair. That just, for whatever reason, that seems to burn through web browsers. Has anyone else experienced that? Does anyone else know a workaround to tilting and skewing an animated GIF, but not having it kill your machine? Me either. But so here, what Shivam is doing is he's using what are you doing? Like a translate, a transform? You're doing an animation to take.
Actually, when since your screen scaling is because like it is translating, but if you zoom, it will be static and it will just change the SVGs.
Nice. So there's like 2 or 3 steps depending upon that this would go through, depending upon how many features. Okay, it's great. Well, somebody's going to tell Partik that he's famous already. All right. Well, do people have feedback on this? Do people have thoughts? One of the thoughts on the page was that if you were to look at the page in its entirety, I'm going to zoom way out. Not that anyone would visit it like this, but part of the thinking is that we go from fairly dark to green. And then if this here is treated like something of an accordion, so wow, yeah. So if it were, this whole thing is kind of potentially could be brought together, because as you end, you go back from green and you fade back to black. And so it's kind of like that whole thing is one accordion. I don't know if it strikes anyone else that way or not. But does anybody have feedback for Shivam?
I think the images kind of look awkward, like when they are sliding. Yeah.
Yeah, I second that.
Yep. Say it again. Say great, good. Say a little more if you can. Pull out some more adjectives to describe awkward.
I mean, like you can like have like a more transition. It's like kind of a static. It stays static at some point, and then like just slides down. You can like have a like dim effect or fade away effect or like that.
All right. So at the point, does it begin to get awkward, right?
Does it need to be that way? Like, do we need it to be like static through the scroll?
Oh, yeah, the thought is, and this may not be coming through, the thought is that, let's say that there's 3 sections to what we're trying to describe in terms of the features of a particular aspect of the software, would be that it's like we're telling a story and building out on what can be done. Here, it's kind of a 2-part story. It says, I'm not even sure if the text necessarily says this yet, but what we're trying to say is, hey, if you have these independent Kubernetes components, a service and a deployment, they often go together. The service often exposes networking for your deployment, which is often running your pods and things. And that's what the story is supposed to say. And what it's trying to tell is that, well, but if you were to bring these 2 within proximity of one another, the software MeshMap is intelligent enough to automatically group them and apply a label to them. And so we're trying to show multiple layers, like each of the images that are here right now. This one is the one that would be used, but the rest should be different, but they should all be, they're supposed to build on one another on layers. So here it kind of does it where you've got this, okay, so you can share and work with other people and build out, do these visual design. And as you do, then other people can help you by bringing in their mice, and it's supposed to tell that type of a story. That doesn't mean that it's not awkward. That doesn't mean that your feedback isn't valid, but that's the goal. Understanding that was the design.
Now I understand it more. It's relatable now. Yeah.
Yeah. See, but yeah, and you know what the problem with this is that now it makes sense. You're okay with it, more or less. You probably got some other feedback and things, but the problem is that isn't something that we can sit there and explain to every site visitor. So it's like, wait, so where we were missing something, it wasn't evident enough that, oh, hey, I get it. That's what was being done. You were sort of starting small, layering capabilities on top, telling the story of how you can. Who else? Did anyone else kind of get lost in had the same feeling that Gurpreet had? It was just like,
Yeah, it was me. But yeah, I mean, what you just said makes sense. It does.
I wonder if that will. These 2 that are used, this one and this one, they do build on each other. This one and this one, they do build on each other. But if that's not really how it felt to you guys earlier.
I think if the text beside it explains a bit about it, I guess that'll work.
I think we can do one thing. There's a section of page that stays static, and the image also stays at the center of the page, and just the text scrolls, and the image changes. Then it will look like more like feasible, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying, hey, if you went ahead and locked in the text with I don't disagree. The ramification of keeping the 2 together all the way through is that at the moment in time in which you try to tell that story of like, hey, now that you visitor, as you've comprehended this and you get, whatever value this is telling, whatever this does. And we say, well, now here's the next part of that same story, is that like you can build on it. And so if it would kept moving, it would be less apparent that, that doesn't mean that, anyways.
Well, part of what Gurpreet is saying is actually implemented on the mobile view of this page. Like the image is centered and the text overflows over it.
Yeah, I just saw the mobile view. Shivam, great work with the mobile view. Really looking good.
Thanks, Shivam.
Any other thoughts? Feedback, it's some good. Play with it a bit too, if you would. Get a, yeah. You might have some more suggestions. I mean, one of the things that's a little, yeah, to me that this, I'm not sure if this bottom line here is ideal, or if just these were perpetually green, they would convey to you that there's a new section, and yet you'd have a sense of continuity, or like it would be. Yeah, I don't know. It's food for thought. Anyway, back to the meeting. Great. Sounds like you're getting some positive feedback, Shivam.
Okay.
All right, maybe we should.
Yep. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yep, there it is.
Cool. So thank you, Shivam. That was a good amount of update on the MeshMap page. Next up, we have Gurpreet's security vulnerability page. So, and one more topic with that as well. So Gurpreet, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure. I'll share my screen.
Sure.
So is it visible?
Yep.
Yeah, so the first issue is the infinite carousel. This one. I fixed this. Just wait a second. Yeah, so now the infinite carousel looks like this, and it works as an infinite carousel in infinite loop. This is how it looks like. And if I scroll it, like change the aspect ratio, then the at some point the infinite carousel will end at this exact pixel value. Then it just bunch like create a bunch of images for all the collaborators. For wide view, it will look like this as an infinite carousel. There's a review on this issue, I guess. I just need to like make sure the width between the spacing between these two these icons like stays the same. So I just need to fix that as well. Any more issues like reviews on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to ask a question. It might be silly, but why do we not have a infinite carousel for the tablet view and the mobile view as well?
Actually, in the issue itself, they were asking this thing. Like, I was also thinking that way. Like, why do we need to like have a like bunch of the images at the smaller values? But in the issue itself, they were mentioning this that infinite carousel at wider views, and so I can like keep it same for smaller views as well, I guess. But,
I'll wait for more feedback.
Yeah. Interestingly, you might consider inverting the effect that you have, which is to say that as you go broader, you actually have more space to have one or two lines or what have you. But as you get smaller, you get condensed on the space. And so having two lines, or if it gets to 3 or 4, that's the point by which it's like, oh, let's bring in a carousel so that, it can stay at one line. Food for thought. The other one is, I guess this is an automated transition, right? So you're just showing people with the dots that you're, this is a high quality thing, but I wonder if the dots are something we wouldn't want to hide maybe on the main page. But a large part of the gist of the point of what we're trying to do here is convey to people that there's a lot of logos, and it's actually why there wasn't part of the point was like, oh, I guess there's so many darn logos, they just spill off the page and I just can't see them all. And, you know, I just like, that's why there isn't a carousel on the projects either, is because if you know, in the project section, I don't know, we had like 12 projects listed that we integrate with. Turns out we integrate with like 150 of them. And it doesn't even matter if you had an infinite carousel or not, you ain't going to see them all unless you sit there for 10 minutes watching the thing go.
Yeah.
Bear that in mind as you think toward this. There are a few additional logos that we need to add because it's just been a while. But yeah, food for thought.
I think then we can like keep the infinite carousel for every screen size.
You just show for the mobile one.
The mobile one? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or this is a tablet view, I think. And mobile view, this is how it looks like.
Yeah, great.
Yep. And yes. So there are other issues as well I have worked on. Should we move to the next one?
We'll wait for 10 more seconds for feedback on
Sure.
this issue.
Sure.
So any other feedback for Gurpreet? Like, what do you guys think about having an infinite carousel for tablet view and mobile view as well? You guys can offer your opinion on that. Cool. No feedback. If there's no other feedback, we can move to your next topic, Gurpreet.
Sure. Just a second. Yes, this is the one. Yeah. So this is a security vulnerabilities page. I just needed to like make it more generalized because it was more related to Meshery before. So yeah. Just one thing here. I just need to make sure that this is also related to layer 5 because I didn't know which mail ID, like email we need to send the vulnerabilities to. And I also like added all of the GitHub organizations that are under layer 5 itself. And also I have like make sure that everywhere the Meshery is replaced with layer 5. And yeah, I think I have also like changed the link to layer 5 Twitter feed, layer 5 blog, and announcements channel. And yeah, this is how it looks like now. I just need to change this one. If anyone knows which email I need to use here.
Yeah. How about you guys take a vote? Should it be security at layer5.io or should it be vulnerabilities at layer5.io? Gurpreet, if you scroll down one more time, did you say that there is a table of known vulnerabilities?
Yeah, this one was listed in Meshery's vulnerabilities page.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of hadn't thought about this when we originally opened the issue, but this could be pretty neat in that this could be a single location for all known. Yeah, cool. All right.
Great. Any other feedback for Gurpreet? You guys can vote on whether the email should be vulnerabilities at layer5.io or securities at oh god, whether it should be vulnerabilities at layer5.io or security at layer5.io. You guys can take a vote on that as well. It's a tongue twister, but yeah. Any other feedback for Gurpreet? We'll wait for 10 more seconds. Cool. Thank you, Gurpreet, for sharing your screen and your issues.
There's one more issue actually.
Oh, okay. I thought there were 2 issues. That's fine. You can go ahead with the third issue first.
Yeah. Which one was it? I guess this one. Yeah, it's just a small issue. I guess it's already been merged, I guess. So I think I can just show you what I did. It's already been merged.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do it.
In this article, there was this issue to add more MeshMap related things or MeshMap screenshots. So around here, I guess. Yeah, here Kubernetes cluster visualization. In this section, I added this link, which goes to the page Shivam is working on, the MeshMap page. And these are the two screenshots I added with some text which was already on the MeshMap site. So I just copy pasted and made some textual changes here and there. Yeah, this is a small issue. Yeah, it's already been merged.
Great, looks great. Cool. Any feedback for Gurpreet for any of the three issues that he just discussed? Cool. Gurpreet, you're done with your issues, right? This was the last one. Sure. Thank you, Gurpreet.
Thank you.
Yeah, all three are done. Now you guys can see my screen, right? I'm assuming you guys can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
So the next topic we have is again, it's related to Carousel, but it is Suhail's topic of converting stack of category filters to a Carousel. So Suhail, if you're on the call, would you like to share your screen and take up your issue?
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
No. Yeah,
Oh, by the way, it's appropriate, since I've heard it about 8 times, it is appropriate to take a moment to spend 30 seconds, just as you all have spent about 2 minutes, asking if you can be heard or if people can see your screen. I just want to let you know, as Subedi has, it's a $2 fine if you were to ask that question. Just so you know, if it's like, can you hear me? And then everyone else has to slowly die inside while people struggle to come off mute and say, yes, we can hear you. And so to be efficient with our time, if you can say things like, I'm assuming that you can see my screen, and then just go. By the way, if you want to share something, you don't need to ask. The answer is perpetually yes. Please, for the love of God, share. Always share. Do it. If we can't hear you, rest assured someone will interrupt and say they can't hear you. So just a note. We gather up all that money, put it into a big pot at the end of the year. And so it's, yeah. Please continue.
So the feedback in the previous call was to remove the infinite carousel. So I have removed it. So if there are any feedback that you all can suggest.
I think it'd be better if you just give a brief introduction about what your topic was and what it fixes.
So the issue was to, as you visit in the layer 5 website, so there are a bunch of filters over here. So the issue was to make this in a carousel view. So I have made the changes, and in the previous call too, I have presented this. So the feedback given to me was to remove the infinite carousel. So if there are some more changes to be made, so
no, looks great. Okay, that's great. Feedback for Suhail.
Nice, man. Nice. It's good, great to have seen it go through the iterations that you've taken it through. This is going to feel maybe weird for me to say it, but gosh, I wonder if we don't have too much green, or I wonder if those arrows shouldn't be black or something. But otherwise, like, yeah, we should merge this. This is great. I know the no, yeah, that's other than thinking about the color, like, that's great. You did good.
Yeah, so
great. Cool. You can just give a second thought about the color, Suhail, and then we can have this merged.
So I should change the color to black, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you can just check what looks good. And if black looks better than what currently is, you can just ask for review as well from others.
Yeah, okay, fine.
That's cool. Thank you, Suhail. Next up, we have okay, yeah. Next up, we have Ayush's Lighthouse CI updates. So, Ayush, are you sharing the screen? I am assuming Ayush is on the call. Okay, that's great.
So, just an overview of the issue. We have integrated the Lighthouse CI 2-3 weeks ago, and there are many errors pertaining to it. So, some of the pull requests that I have opened this week, uh, this is related to fixing the heading order on the home page. So, Lighthouse expects all the different text to be all the basically all the headings to be in a sequential manner. So it should be like H1, H2, H3 in that manner. It can't be like H2, H1, H4. It should be in a sequential manner. So to fix this issue on this home page, so wherever there were issues, wherever the heading tags were not in a sequential manner, I changed them basically to be in paragraph or other tags. Like for example, if you can see this cloud native focused and this dedicated to empowering, these both were previously present in H5 tags, inside H5 tags. And because of this was H5, this was H1, this was again H5. So because these were not in sequential manner, the Lighthouse heading order tests were failing. So to fix this, I've migrated this to inside the paragraph tags and then added the corresponding styling to the section style.js such that visually it remains same from before. So even though it's been changed, the text has been changed from heading to paragraph, uh, the UI looks exactly the same because I added all the parameters like font weight size or any color or many margin parameter so that it looks same. Coming to my second issue, second pull request, this was regarding disabling Lighthouse CI from auditing this file. So currently, before this PR, Lighthouse used to audit 5 pages, uh, and one of them was so the other one are index page, about us page, 404 page, and this one, and the other one was uh, this google.html. So I made this PR so to disable Lighthouse from auditing this page because this is not really a page that layer 5, it's not really related to layer 5, and so it's not really needed here. I discussed about this with Nikhil, so he suggested that this is not really related to layer 5 and this is basically a false positive. So I disabled this page. Coming to my next issue, this is related from the previous call regarding the color contrast test. So I tried different things on the for the color contrast page, and what I found that so this is from the previous call as I showed. Increasing the font weight or the boldness has no effect on the Lighthouse CI test. So for example, if if I change so like here it is currently black. Let me show on this. Yeah, so even if I change this to the maximum, even if I increase the font size or increase the font weight to a maximum of 1,000, still the Lighthouse CI test fails because it doesn't matter how much uh, font weight or size it has. Once it's a large text by Lighthouse CI parameters, it should has minimum a contrast of 3:1, and for small text, it should have a contrast of 4.5:1. So for for text inside the button, something I think I need more ideas if anyone could suggest. And before coming to that, I would also like to point out on these texts here. So like previously you can see the color I used was this weird green, which in no way we could incorporate as it would broke the UI. So I replaced this with a new color. It looks exactly the same as the previous color, just a little bit different, but this will pass the Lighthouse CI test. So if this color is okay, we can go with this. I had changed this color here and then add that down. Yeah, it's same machine. So it looks like exactly the same, but it's a different color, and this will pass the Lighthouse CI test. But for the button, but for the text inside this green button, like here it's subscribe, we would have to change this color away from white. And as I previously pointed out, increasing its size or the font weight even to a maximum of 1000 won't solve this issue. So can anyone suggest like what we can do? Because I can change it to black, but it won't look really great aesthetic on this inside this green button. I changed all the like some buttons, some text inside the yellow buttons were white, so I changed them to black. So these looks good, but for text inside the green button, I'm a little confused because the black color really won't look great. So can anyone suggest or give some ideas?
If you were to hover over the Get Started button.
This one.
Yeah, okay. How about it? And then let's say that if you depress it, but maybe don't click it, just sort of depress the button, the Get Started button.
So you mean to inspect it, right? Or
yeah, I just mean like there's multiple states here, and one of those states is like on down, or I don't know what the state is called, but it's like it's not active. But yeah, if you were to click and then click drag the yeah. Now move your mouse away and let go. Alrighty. Did you see the green that was there? I suppose that green is probably not high contrast enough. I was just trying to think of something other than black. Would you play with the login button for a moment, the one right next to it, if you kind of do the same thing?
I mean, for these two buttons, the test passes, so we don't need to change it for
okay. Yeah,
color for this.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is it's like, wait a second, that button Get Started is the same color. It uses the same coloring, yes, except for a different font weight. So it's like, wait, why is one passing, the other one isn't?
I mean, if you like, so if you ran the Lighthouse test here, inside the accessibility, so this is I'm running the Lighthouse CI test using an extension. So if you go here, it will show you that you should change this Get Started button color. Like here it is showing that this is not right and you should change, and this will fail the Lighthouse CI test. But for some reason, when the Lighthouse CI test checks it, it passes it. But here we can see it is failing, because it is mentioning here that we should change the contrast error is there with this Lighthouse extension, but inside Lighthouse CI, it's passing. So I can't really make out why it's the case, because it looks very weird that the Lighthouse is mentioning that the contrast issue is present here, but for some reason when the Lighthouse CI tests happen, it doesn't point it out.
There's a couple of head scratchers here. So yeah, in your in-browser tests are consistently fail, or they fail in a consistent way, both of the buttons, the Get Started and the subscribe.
Yes, they fail for Get Started and Login, but the Lighthouse CI, inside the Lighthouse CI test, these passes.
Yeah. So black is one thought. I don't know. Yeah, yes. We'll have to parking lot that, or we'll have to it's a good challenge for anybody that's on the call if you want to try to identify a high contrast color for the lettering. A quick check, we're toward the end of the meeting. the Lighthouse topic is quite important. I'm happy for us to spend the rest of the time on it. I just didn't know if we had any other urgent items.
No, Lee, no such. One item was the dark mode of Meshery Docs, but Gaganpreet is not here anyway, so we can just continue with the Lighthouse PR for the rest of the meeting.
So, you know, I don't know, a younger version of me would have thought that this SEO oriented or this accessibility oriented or the use of Lighthouse as a tool to assess and evaluate whether or not your website adheres to all these practices. I would have thought that this is pretty boring. And it turns out that whether it's boring or not doesn't negate the fact that it's quite important. And part of the reason it's so important is because this particular site represents all of the works for all of the projects. And we want all of the websites to look well and do well, look well and pass all of these tests. This particular one, we're starting with this one because it's really important that all the works get represented quite well. If they don't get represented well, if this website doesn't pass those tests, some of these failing tests affect PageRank. And that's why they are. Some of that is why they are tests in Lighthouse, but some of them don't get included. And I would be curious actually for the sequential headings. It's like, hey, if you're writing a doc, not all of your headings are going to always follow H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. Like at some point, you're going to come back up to H1. You're going to start a new section, and I'm assuming that that's okay. But anyway, my point is Ayush, it would be really helpful if we came to understand of the failing tests, which ones are for certain PageRank impacting, which ones for certain are SEO, negative.
For the SEO, so the Lighthouse does show for the SEO actually this is not clearly visible, so I will again run the test. So Lighthouse basically evaluates on the different categories like SEO, performance, accessibility, and for the SEO ones we are getting a full score of 100. So SEO is not a problem. The issues we're having right now is with performance and accessibility. This performance, I think, is not very representative because it's being run on my local host.
I'll offer up just a point of clarification, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but and so point it out if I am. I think there's a nuanced difference between Lighthouse's evaluation of SEO. There are a certain number of rules that it's using to evaluate whether or not your website is optimized for search engines to digest the content that you have. It has certain rules for that, and great. And it's super cool to see that we're at 100. But that doesn't mean that poor performance doesn't also affect PageRank. So like all of them potentially affect PageRank, and it's possible that a few of the rules may not actually affect PageRank. So I just want to break that mental tie between SEO and PageRank, those two things being highly related but different. And I could be wrong, but I'm not.
No, I will just confirm look into it. But yeah, I think you are right. The accessibility and all other issues should also play a role. So if anyone has any ideas like how we can deal with this color, they can probably drop a suggestion in the comments in the issue. For regarding this color for stay meshy and here, I think are we okay to proceed with this? Because these looks good compared to this. Like it's almost, I think it's almost the same as before. It just changes a little, but these will pass the contrast test.
Yeah, I'll take that as a piece of homework, Ayush. deviation from the brand guidelines, like with the change of our primary color to something else? Ooh. Yeah, let's give that some thought, or let's explore that some more. Did you also, you didn't just change the color, right? You also, did you change the line height or no?
No, it
Yeah, I was
just
going to ask
changed.
the same thing.
No, I have just changed the color, but I think something might also else have changed. But from my side, I only changed the color. But I will look into it. But if there's anything else that has been changed, I will revert it back to original. But the main focus like is just on the color. So you can see the now it's this and now it's this. It's almost the same, but I don't know like if this will work.
All right. Any other feedback for Ayush on the colors and on the Lighthouse PR in general?
Hey, actually, I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Like over the email input field that you have, can you please like scroll? Nothing's visible actually.
No, is my screen not visible?
No,
No, it is visible.
But it's not showing it.
Okay. Do you by any chance are pointing out to the button which is like not in line with the email address?
Yeah. The subscribe button is not like in line with respect to the input field.
Yeah. Cool. If anyone would like to try their hands on this, you can do that, or obviously open up an issue and then submit a PR, but then I'll open up an issue for the same as well.
Hey, but where do you have to open this issue at? Like in which repo?
You can open it on GitHub in under the layer 5 IO repository.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm assuming you will fix this as well.
Yeah, sure. If you give me a chance.
Yeah, cool. That's great.
Yes, so thank you. And if there are any more suggestions, especially on what should we do with this text color inside the green button, please give inside the. You can either point me out on Slack on the GitHub, because I think eventually we would have to change this from white color. I don't think there is a way around that.
Cool. So if you find anything which interests you about the Lighthouse PR, please make sure to text Ayush on Slack or drop a comment under the issue. Cool. I think we are on time. We are 5 minutes over time. There's nothing important as such in these topics, apart from a PR which Arunama has just made some changes on and it's ready to be merged. So we can discuss it in the next meeting. For now, I think we can discuss all other topics in the next meeting. We had a healthy discussion of topics today. So that's it, guys. This is how we end today's website call. See you next Monday. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.